On March 7, 2020, a few months after COVID-19 appeared, Yunlin faced an economic crisis due to the pandemic. Vegetables were unsellable, and farmers needed to throw out their products. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Emmanuel. The following members are Dora, Chloe, Aaron, and Sophie. Today, we're going to talk about the policy that brought back the economy of these farmers. We are delighted to share a project. The topic of our presentation is Buyer-Seller Match Service, Bridge between Farmers and Businesses. We divided our presentation into 4 parts: introduction, methods, findings and discussion, and finally, conclusion. Now, I'll begin with introduction. In recent years, the pandemic has caused a lot of issues in the market economy all over the world. In Taiwan, schools usually have their own school lunches. However, most schools around Taiwan were suspended because of the pandemic. The food channels originally intended to supply schools were affected, leaving farmers without a very important trade. Moreover, Yunlin is one of the counties that is more affected by this problem. The reason is because Yunlin is considered the agricultural capital. To prove this, research in 2019 indicated that Yunlin had the largest vegetable producing area and had the highest ratio of people engaged in agriculture, with 49.7%. So it is obvious to think that the pandemic has damaged farmers' economy and caused negative impacts in Yunlin. However, to solve this issue, the government decided to implement the Buyer-Seller Match Service. Then, through searching for more detailed information, we became worried about farmers and the economy of Yunlin, and finally chose the Buyer-Seller Match Service as our topic. Now, Dora will tell you what is the Buyer-Seller Match Service.
Thank you, Emmanuel. The Buyer-Seller Match Service is a policy that acts as a third-party platform and matches people and businesses with farmers. Through this policy, farmers can sell their products directly to customers without the need of another procedure. Moreover, the government also made it possible for farmers to put their products on their online platform, called Yunlin Goods. In this way, the policy increases the sales channels of farmers so they can maximize the value of their remaining products and protect farmers' livelihood. There are 3 research questions for our project. First, how well do farmers know about the Buyer-Seller Match Service policy? Second, what are the impacts of the Buyer-Seller Match Service in Yunlin? Third, can the Buyer-Seller Match Service become better? Now, I will talk about the courses we took to acquire the abilities to our project. First, in our business class, we learn all about the policies and some basic skills to analyze the conditions of a policy. Second, we participate in a camp to develop writing thesis skills. We learn how to use questionnaire, interview, discussion, and combine them into a thesis. Third, we have a lot of advanced English classes like document processing practice and presentation practice. We learn the basic English skills and learn to use Word and PowerPoint, which are fundamental for our project. Now, Sophie will continue with methods.
Thank you, Dora. The first instrument is interview. Our first interviewee was the Director of Agriculture Division in Yunlin County Government, Liu Kunhong. From him, we learned all about the policy and the contributions the government made to help the policy. The other interviewee was the head of Hexin Fruit Vegetable Production Cooperative, Chen Kunshen. He brought us very information of how the pandemic and the policy affected their vegetable sales. Then, our second instrument is questionnaire. We design our questionnaire focused on farmers, and we post it on Facebook groups and ask friends with relatives who are farmers. And we finally end up with 75 participants. Now, Chloe will show you our findings and discussions.
Thank you, Sophie. Our first research question is about how well do farmers know about the buyer-seller match service policy? The chart shows that farmers who know about the buyer-seller match service and yielding goods were 45.3% and 72% respectively, indicating that the understanding of farmers towards the policy is still low in comparison to the online platform of the government. Therefore, in the second chart, we can know that participants that have taken part in the policy were only 9.3%, and participants that have sold their products to any goods were 5.3%, indicating that this policy has not been promoted enough and does not attract too many farmers. The research question 2 is about the impacts of the buyer-seller match service in Yulin. In this chart, more than 50% of people believe that the buyer-seller match service can increase farmers' sales and increase the opportunities for cooperation between farmers and enterprises. So, it is good to know that this policy accomplishes its original goal of helping the economy of farmers. Then, in this chart, the two effects that most people believe the buyer-seller match service has in our society are to help Yulin County improve economic development and adjust the commodity supply and demand balance price. More than just helping farmers, this policy also helps people on a bigger scale in society. Now, Sophie will continue with the third research question.
Thank you, Chloe. The research question 3 is about can the buyer-seller match service become better? As you can see in this chart, most of the farmers learned about the buyer-seller match service through social media. However, in the interview, the Director of Agriculture Division in Yulin County government said that the most used tool to promote the policy was official documents, but only 2.7% of the participants didn't work. This means that they still had a better option to upgrade their promotion and help the policy to improve. Second, Yulin goods can become better. In the chart mentioned before, we noticed that the online platform of the government's Yulin goods is understood by most of the participants, but only a few really understand it. So it was not as efficient as we imagined. And in the interview with the Hexing Fruit Vegetable Production Cooperative, we found that the main problem is the transportation cost. So, to improve the buyer-seller match service, the government should put a little more effort on solving this problem. Finally, Aaron will continue with our conclusion.
Thank you, Sophie. The buyer-seller match service wasn't meant to improve the livelihood of farmers. However, we found that most farmers didn't know about or only had a slight idea of what the policy is, but did not really understand the benefits of it. Moreover, we found that most people believe that the policy will increase the farmer sales, increase the opportunities for cooperation between farmers and enterprises, improve the economic development, and adjust the commodity supply and demand balance price. Therefore, we want to propose some suggestions. First, the buyer-seller match service should be more promoted by social media. In this way, people can know more about the policy and cooperate with farmers. Second, we should promote the usage of cold chain logistics. It will not only increase the quality of products, but also help ensure the farmers' benefits. In this way, we can help improve the lives of farmers. Finally, by learning more about the buyer-seller match service, we can help improve the lives of farmers, even the economy of society, and prevent the crisis from happening again in the future. And remember, as long as there's a few farmers out there, we'll keep fighting for them. That's the end of our presentation.